some of the challenges, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to identify or at least see that you may be feeling some of these as well. It's limited in-house skills, a lack of time, which is probably the biggest one nowadays. There's something called alert fatigue, which is just the amount of information that's coming through on a day-to-day basis that needs to be handled, needs to get human eyes on it. And then stretched teams. Okay, shifting compliance requirements. The goalposts keep on getting moved. They keep on getting more stringent, and at the moment, it's becoming quite difficult to find out who's enforcing it, how they're enforcing it, why they're enforcing it, but all we know is that it's going to be enforced. So this is something that we are keeping track of on a day-to-day basis to kind of remove that burden away from you so that you don't really need to go and dedicate all of that time and resource to understanding it. Then outdated security controls, legacy systems, constrained budgets. It's all very real pains that businesses are feeling nowadays. Look, a lot of the times when we're having a look at legacy systems, they used to be 10, 15 years old. Unfortunately, now they are 3 years old, 1 year old. The world is shifting so quickly that our protocols that we had 3 years ago, which were cutting edge and were meant to be future-proofing us, just aren't there anymore. And it becomes difficult to try and keep up with those. So if I had to run through some of the elements now, some of you may be familiar with this analogy here that we'll bring up. So when looking at a cybersecurity solution, the best way to really equate it and to kind of understand it from a personal perspective is looking at your own house. So trying to understand, how are you securing your own house? So with some of these elements, you've got your roof, which is providing you a lot of comfort and security. You've got your alarm system, which is monitoring and detecting any problems that may be coming around. You've got your walls and your windows, which effectively become your firewalls and your endpoints. Those are on the edge. They're making sure that you are covered. Then you've got a house which holds all of your data, all of your information, the lovely photo albums, your cute dog, which is not going to stand up to any intruder coming in. And then you've got your regular maintenance. So you're making sure that the windows are still latched, that the lock actually works, all of those different elements. So the house analogy has been around for a long time. It's really just an idea of how do we ensure that we are conveying cybersecurity, which can be a mystical and convoluted thing, into something in a real space. We're going to bring up this presentation, this slide a couple of times today. And the simple reason is that this has been the standard for a long time, but unfortunately, it's just changed. A lot of this idea is about making sure that threats don't get in, that we've got an environment where we are holding the fort effectively. We're making sure that nobody's getting into that house at all. Unfortunately, even with that locked door, even with making sure that the windows are closed, that our alarm system is looking out for any alerts that are coming through, that all of our data in the business is safe, the entire landscape has just changed. Okay, we have AI is already in the house.